Hey family, and welcome to Dwell According to Knowledge, the talk show. I am your host and your coach, Trey. And our lesson for today is 5 reasons why men don't commit. 5 reasons why men don't commit. All right, my past and some of the relationships that I've been in kind of gave way to a lot of the reasons why when my relationships fail, I didn't have like a reference point as to why the relationship failed. So as I look back over my past and everything from my childhood forward, it helped me to understand that there were a few things that had went on in my past that kind of permeated itself as I grew older, and my relationships I were in and out of. So there were a lot of reasons why I would never commit, but I had to dig deep, and especially back in my past, in order to find out why. So what I did was I went back into my past and came forward to, pretty much like today and stuff like that, to find out, why. What are some of the reasons why, men don't commit, to the game of love, to the game of relationships, or to, women in general. Okay, so let's get into number 1 here of the 5 reasons why men don't commit. Number 1 is commitments are not made where commitments are not warranted. I think Steve Harvey said something, a while back when the lady was in the audience and asked a question about why won't a man marry or commit or something like that. And Steve said, because you didn't require him to. And one of the things that I had to remember in a lot of my relationships is why women, why would you not ask, a certain question when you're feeling and thinking a certain way? Okay, let me read this to you. If a man can live with you like he's married to you without marrying you, he will. It's not necessarily his fault. Although men are naturally inclined to want to lead some things, they are often looking for a woman to give direction, and then they follow to satisfy her. So if you don't lead them towards commitment or marriage, you may not even get there. You get that? In some areas you're going to have to lead, because if you find or get yourself one of those kind of guys who believe, grown up, things that happened in his past, and how that led to a lot of his relationships, it'll happen the same way for you too. And you gotta put you gotta put your foot down in certain areas, or he won't do a thing. And I'm pretty sure what's the act like a lady, think like a man thing, the non-committal, the non-committer one. That's you'll be dealing with a guy like him. So make sure that you every so often in your relationship, not right in the beginning, but as that relationship goes on, you want to ask him, where's this going, and where are you trying to take it? Do you have a plan for me, or do you have a plan for the future that includes me? Okay, all right, let's get to number 2 here. Men are afraid to put themselves in situations they think might not work. Fear is a huge thing in relationships, and men are just as afraid as women are, and sometimes even more. And I'm going to tell you, one of the reasons why men fear it more is because they don't like the phrase "don't like to waste time," waste money, and waste a lot of feelings, that and that's what we feel, that's what we think, like that. So let me hit you with this one. Marriage is risky, or committed relationships is risky in many cases if it doesn't work out. Instead of taking the risk of having a failed marriage or a failed relationship, some men would rather not marry or commit themselves in the first place. That way, they don't have to face failure. See that fear. You know, these people are driven by fear, or these men are driven by fear. Fear, and don't make real commitments because they are afraid to lose. They don't realize that if you don't play, you don't win. Now, I'm not talking about it as like, lottery or anything like that, but what I am telling you is that, that feel of failure is very strong in men. And when we decide that we want to do something, especially, in the beginning, we really don't want to, we really, as we continue to develop the relationship, we don't want to lose. We don't want to, put in a lot of time and effort and then all of a sudden it's gone. Especially where that part where, because women play games too. And the next thing you know, he done put all his mind, body, heart, soul, money, and all of that stuff in it. And then all of a sudden, she's off to the races with someone else. Okay? So that's number 2. Number 3, the idea that something better will come along. Yeah, something better will come along. We always got this in the back of our head that, we don't want to commit because, if we could, the second, a lot of times the second we commit to one, here comes somebody else, strolling down the street, smiling at us, batting eyelashes, and that kind of stuff. And then, helping us to believe that there's a chance. So, a lot of times it's something better. Now, this is one of the main reasons men don't commit. I should have made this one number 1, but, I just kind of throw it all in there. They have this idea that something better than what they have might come along. They keep the door open for escape by not committing to anything that will tie them down. They perceive commitments to be the key that locks the door to having other relationships, so they don't want the key. They want the door cracked for escape. Not only do they run for committed relationship, but they run from life as well. And of course, the one word is immaturity. So we feel that sometimes something better will come along, and we kind of like leave ourselves open for that. Okay? Number 4. And this is one of the things that go back into, when you have to go back into your childhood and come forward, they can't trust anymore. Okay? That trust thing. Some people have been, in committed relationships for a long period of time, or even marriage, and once the first, second, or third committed relationship, marriage, it don't work out, they give up on commitments and marriages and settle for just flat out, just a little relationship, just one that just not really going anywhere, but just, stagnant, just plain and simple. Okay. They blame failure on the institution rather than the parties involved. Okay, they say things like, I'm done with marriage, or I'm never getting married again. And once a man who is not interested in a committed relationship knows that about you, he will date you for the rest of your life, ladies. So what this is saying is, if you get yourself involved, if you don't have that, the term I'm trying to get to is a hopeless romantic. See, don't get into hopeless romantic, get into hopeful romantic. You know what I mean? Because hopeless means that there's no way. Hopeful means at some point there may be something or someone for you. Okay? All right. Deep-rooted issues from past traumas. Lord and behold, that was my biggest thing, deep-rooted issues from past traumas. He may have had the most important women of his life. He may be suffering from abandonment issues, like his mom may have left, his sisters, people in his life. And then as he grew older, getting cheated on, or the women he involved with, just left, and you get where this is going. Yeah, some men have gone through a series of traumas from their childhood. It still haunts them for the rest of their life. Some traumas such as physical, verbal abuse, low self-esteem, lack of male guidance in his life, and unresolved issues of fear. No reference point of happy relationships. Okay, that was one of mine. All right, and all can be examples of why most men won't commit to any relationship. A lot of men suffered serious heartbreaks when when they committed in previous relationships only to be abused, mistreated, and cheated on. There you have it. A lot of stuff in the background has brought a lot of men to their knees as far as like trying to get into a committed relationship with anyone, let alone getting married or any of that kind of stuff. Plus your own traumas that tell you that, hey, I'm not marrying nobody else no more. I'm not getting into no, really serious relationships no more, or any of that kind of stuff. So men will follow suit on any of those things. And of course, if anything in his background, our background, just like I said, that abandonment piece, that abusive piece, it will really traumatize a man even as he gets into his adulthood. He will not commit to anything for fear of that abandonment, for fear of abuse, whether it's verbal or physical or any of that stuff. Okay? I hope you all got something from that. If you like what you heard on the video, please like, subscribe to the channel, share it with someone that you know. Okay? And I'll see you in the next video.